गोपीजनावल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपीजनावल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जना यशोदानन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जना यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी 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 श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, we are reading today from Canto 11, Chapter 6, chapter entitled The Yadu Dynasty Retires to Prabhas, text number 20. श्रीबादरायणर उवाच इति अभिष्टूय विबुधैः शेषशतधृतिर्हरिम् अभ्यभाषत गोविन्दम् प्रणम्याम्बरमाश्रितः। श्रीबादरायणर उवाच इति अभिष्टूय विबुधैः शेषः शतधृतिर्हरिम् अभ्यभाषत गोविन्दम् प्रणम्याम्बरमाश्रितः। श्रीबादरायणर उवाच इति अभिष्टूय विबुधैः शेषः शतधृतिर्हरिम् अभ्यभाषत गोविन्दम् प्रणम्याम्बरमाश्रितः। श्रीबादरायणर उवाच इति अभिष्टूय विबुधैः शेषशतधरे हरिम् अव्यभाषत गोविन्दम् प्रणम्याम्बरमाश्रितैः श्रीबादरायणरुवाच इति अभिष्टूय विबुधैः शेषशतधतिर्हरिम् अव्यभाषित गोविन्दम् प्रणम्याम्बरमाश्रित श्रीबादरायणरुवाच पिष्टूय विबुधैः शेषशतधतिर्हरिम् अप्यभाषित गोविन्दम् प्रणम्याम्बरमाश्रित. Word for word meaning. Shri Badarayani Uvacha. Shri Shukadeva Goswami said, Iti thus, Abhishtuya, praising, Vibudhaihi, along with all the demigods, Saisha, and also Lord Shiva, Shatadhritihi, Lord Brahma, Harim, the Supreme Lord, Abhyabhashata, spoke, Govindam, to Govinda, Pranamya, offering obeisances, Ambaram, in the sky, Ashritaha, situated. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Abhicharananda Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Shukadeva Goswami continued, after Brahma, along with Lord Shiva and the other demigods, thus offered prayers to the Supreme Lord, Govinda, Lord Brahma, situated himself in the sky and addressed the Lord as follows. This verse doesn't have any purport. We are going to read till the verse 23. So this is text 21. Shri Brahmovacha Bhumir Bharavatārāya Pura Vidnyāpita Prabho Tvam Asmabhir Asheshatman Tat Tathaivoppaditam. Translation and purport. Translation. Lord Brahma said, my dear Lord, previously we requested you to remove the burden of the earth. O unlimited personality of Godhead, that request has certainly been fulfilled. Purport. Lord Krishna might have said to the demigods, actually you requested Kshirodakshay Vishnu to come down. So why are you saying that you requested me? After all, I am Govinda. Therefore, Brahma has addressed the Lord here as Ashesh Atma, or the unlimited personality of Godhead, from whom all plenary expansions of Vishnu emanate. This is the opinion of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Text 22, translation. My Lord, you have re-established the principles of religion among pious men who are always firmly bound to the truth. You have also distributed your glories all over the world, and thus the whole world can be purified by hearing about you. Text 23. Descending into the dynasty of King Yadu, you have manifested your unique transcendental form, and for the benefit of the entire universe, you have executed magnanimous transcendental activities. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshur-Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrachatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So in this section now we are at the time wherein Brahmaji is again speaking to the Supreme Lord after offering his prayers, and Lord Brahma is thanking Lord Krishna for performing his wonderful charming pastimes and also for manifesting his wonderful form. So we are discussing this series of 4 verses. So in this particular verse where the translation as well as the purport is mentioned, we see how Vishwanath Chakra Thakur says that Krishna might have said to demigods, actually requested Shirodakshay Vishnu to come, why are you thanking me? But then he says that no, you are the source of Shirodakshay Vishnu also. So actually when any kind of problem happens in the universal affairs, all the demigods approach Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma goes to Kshirosagar, and in Kshirosagar, in the ocean of milk, there is Lord Vishnu, Shirodakshay Vishnu, who is resting there. And all of them, especially Brahma, he prays to the Supreme Lord that please manifest yourself. And many a times it so happens that Brahmaji is not even able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is not even able to see Shirodakshay Vishnu, who is the plenary portion of the plenary portion of the plenary portion of Lord Krishna. So what to say of speaking of seeing Lord Krishna himself? But whenever he comes, whenever Brahmaji hears his voice, Brahmaji considers that to be the supreme great joy in his life, and he relays the message to the demigods. So all the incarnations which appear on this earth, they appear from Shirodakshay Vishnu. Now we all know in Bhagavatam, the supremacy of Lord Krishna over all the other incarnations is mentioned, in the sense that the Paribhasha Sutra, or the main verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, on which verse all the other texts of Srimad Bhagavatam are based, is 1328, which says, Ete cha amsa kala pumshah krishnastu bhagavan swayam indrari vyakulam loke mradayanti yuge yuge. So it says that how the form of Krishna is the supreme form. There is no form beyond that. Then we find even in the 3rd canto, the verse comes, Yanmarte leelaupayakam swayoga maya balam darshayita grihitam vismapanam swasya cha saubagarde param padam bhushanam bhushanangam. So it says that when Lord Krishna appeared, he even amazed Mahavishnu. And Mahavishnu was also very eager to see Lord Krishna. Krishna was never eager to see Mahavishnu, but Mahavishnu was eager to see Lord Krishna. So therefore it says how Krishna is supreme. Then when we go to the 10th canto, there is a specific separate Paribhasha Sutra for the 10th canto. And this text appears in 8th chapter, I guess that is the verse number 45. It says, Traya cha Upanishad Bhischa Sankhya Yogeshcha Satpati Upagiyamana Mahatmyam Harer Samanyatatmacha. It says that Lord Krishna is glorified in all the Vedas, in all the Puranas. But the amazing thing is, Mother Yashoda considers this source of all opulences, this source of all beauty, this source of all knowledge, this source of all the entire creation. Mother Yashoda considers himself as her child. And the entire 10th canto is based upon that. Now, we don't find childhood pastimes of Lord Narasimhadev, even with respect to Lord Rama. So Rupa Goswami describes in his book Laghu Bhagavatamrita, he talks about 3 para avastha forms of the Lord, in which he mentions, first is Lord Narasimha, whose pastimes are very special, then he says Lord Ram, and then he says Krishna. But Krishna's pastimes are the supreme most, even amongst them. And there are no childhood pastimes of Lord Narasimhadev, we all know that. And regarding Lord Ram, definitely he went through his childhood, but Valmiki Ramayana gives only 10 verses describing the pastimes of Lord Ram. But Lord Krishna's childhood pastimes are mentioned in such a great detail in Srimad Bhagavatam, and furthermore they have been elaborated by our acharyas in Gopal Champu, Anand Vrindavan Champu and all other places. So many pastimes are described in such great detail. Our acharyas have given huge commentaries on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So if we consider the form of Krishna also, the form of Krishna is supreme most. When Rukmini, she got attracted to Krishna, like here it is mentioned that you have also distributed your glories all over the world, and thus the whole world can be purified by hearing about you. When Rukmini heard about Krishna, Rukmini says in her love letter to Krishna, Shrutva gunan bhuvana sundar shunvatam te nirvishya karna vivarair hartongatapam rupam drisham drishimatam akhilartha labam tayyachyuta vishati chittam apatrapam me. She says, Shrutva gunan, when I heard your qualities, she is little embarrassed to say that I got attracted to your form right in the very beginning. So she says, I heard about your qualities. Shrutva gunan, bhuvana sundara, you are the supreme most beautiful person in the entire creation. And I heard about you, nirvishya karna vivarair hartonga tapam. When your sound vibration, when your glories entered my ears, it dissipated the entire distress of my body and mind. When we hear about or talk about the love affairs of this world, the only thing it does is agitates us. But the love affair of Krishna, it can free us from all diseases, the disease of the heart, what he calls it. Ridrogam ashu apahinoti achirena dhira vikriditam brajavaduvir idam cha Vishnu. So when Krishna performs his pastime, it is called as krida. It is a play. When conditioned living entities perform their pastimes, it is not pastime, it is a time pass. So therefore we don't call it krida. It is entanglement. And therefore Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami spends so much time in distinguishing between kama and prema. He says the love of the gopis is celebrated as lust, is celebrated as kama, but he says kama prema doha vibhanyakara. He says kama is like, the lust of this world is like iron, but the love of the gopis, it is like gold. So there is a great difference between the love of this world and love which a living entity can have for Krishna, or which pure devotees have for Krishna. It can totally purify us. And the glories of hearing Krishna Katha, yesterday Navin Krishna Prabhu was also describing very nicely the glories of hearing Krishna Katha. We see Parikshit Maharaj, he describes so many glories of hearing throughout Srimad Bhagavatam. Now interestingly, Parikshit Maharaj is he is the kind of standard example for hearing, for Shravanam. We have got 9 personalities who specifically performed this 9 processes. So Parikshit Maharaj is glorified for hearing Krishna Katha. And if you see the verses which Parikshit Maharaj speaks in Srimad Bhagavatam, throughout the entire Bhagavatam, most of them are based upon hearing only. Like in 2nd canto, 8th chapter, he is mentioning Shunvatah Shraddhaya Nityam Grunatascha Swacheshtitam Kalena Na Atidirghena Bhagavan Vishate Ridhi. He says, one who hears the message of Srimad Bhagavatam with faith and every day, what happens? And furthermore, grinatascha swacheshtitam, one who endeavors in his life to follow the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, kalena na ati dirghena. Kalena means time. Na ati dirghena means very quickly. What will happen? It will not take a long time. Bhagavan vishate ridhi. The Lord will get manifested in one's heart. This he is telling in the second canto itself. And Parikshit Maharaj actually appears at the end of first canto. The first canto description is mainly between Suta Goswami and Shaunakadi rishis. So Shukadeva Goswami started speaking Bhagavatam from the second canto onwards. So right at the end of second canto, now you are not even moved to the third canto, but Parikshit Maharaj is feeling the effect of hearing Krishna Katha. His heart, in 1 or 2 days. So we find that sometimes devotees, they get inspiration just by one Bhagavatam class, one Bhagavad Gita class. For Arjuna, only one Bhagavad Gita class was needed. 45 minutes Bhagavad Gita class. That's it. And he was done after that. After that, Krishna didn't need to speak Bhagavad Gita again to him. And when Krishna left this world, it is described in the first canto, 15th chapter, how Arjuna is so overwhelmed by Krishna's departure. And he is not understanding what to do. He says that I have lost my very dear friend Krishna, due to whom I had got all powers. Now I had got the same dhanush. Tadvai dhanush tadisava saratho hayaste soham rati nripatayo rita anamanti sarvam kshanena tadabud asarita riktam basman hatat kuhakaradya mivoptamushyam. He says, I have got the same bow, I have got the same arrow, I have got the same chariot. But how come I was defeated by this cowherd infidels? It is just like, waving your hand with a magic wand where nothing will happen. Or it is just like pouring ghee into ashes. Nothing will come out if you pour ghee into ashes. Saying my effort was like that, what has happened? And then he says, because Krishna has departed, I am feeling such a great vacuum in my heart. But after that, he says, now I am stabilizing myself by hearing, by again remembering the instructions which Krishna gave to me in Bhagavad Gita. So the inspiration of that one Bhagavad Gita class remained in Arjuna's heart forever. Therefore, he did not need to hear any other Bhagavad Gita class later. But for us, Shukadeva Goswami, even Suta Goswami, they knew. Therefore, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Even Bhagavatam, after 1.3.28, that verse is there where Krishna is described as the Supreme. Immediately the next to next verse of that, it says that one should hear the pastimes of the Lord both in the morning as well as in the evening. Because morning you hear, you will forget till the evening. So again you hear in the evening. So we need to see what capacity we have, and based on that capacity, how quickly we get discharged. Based upon that, we need to charge again and again ourselves with Krishna Katha. Because Krishna Katha is the only thing that can satisfy our emotional longings and the longings of our heart. Because this is the book which was written for that. The very third verse of Srimad Bhagavatam says, Rasam Alayam. We have many alayas in this world. Krishna talks about this world as Dukkhalaya. But Bhagavatam talks about itself. Vyasadeva says that this Bhagavatam is Rasam Alaya. It is full of all rasas. So whatever rasa is lacking in our life, we have 5 rasas, definitely 5 rasas, they are with Krishna. But then we many a times desire a fulfillment of our emotions. We want to love others, we want to be loved by others. We desire pleasure through relationships, we desire pleasure through connecting with someone. And all these desires can be fulfilled just by connecting with Srimad Bhagavatam. And how it can be so? How a book can fulfill all our longings of the heart? The first reason is because it was written with compassion. Yes, Swanubhavam Akhila Shrutisaramekam Adhyatmatipam Atitirshitam Tamondham Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Goyam Tam Vyasa Sunam Upayami Gurum Maninam. Shukdev spoke it with compassion, Vyasdeva wrote it with compassion, Suta again spoke it with compassion, and Parikshit also heard it with compassion. So the result, what will come to the living entity, will also be compassion. And because it is written with so much karuna, so much daya, generally people write books of this books. When they write books, this world also, they write only to get more followers, or they write so that their name and fame increases, and they want to write something about the affairs of this particular world, but they don't have compassion on people. If they would have written with compassion, then they would have not written all mundane stuff in that. They would have mentioned about Krishna. But the main reason to write, and so many books have been written. The other day I had gone to University of Chicago, and the devotee took me, I said, I want to see this Regenstein library, which is one of the biggest libraries in the university. So many. So they have another library close to it, which is like complete glass, like it's complete glass, and you have some desks there. And he told me that they have dug over this library below, and they have kept cases and cases of books in that. So if you want a particular book, then the machine will go down, it will get that particular box, and then you can take that book and again put that box below. And in that Regenstein library also, there are so many shelves of so many subject matters. And he said me, many of the books have never been picked for so many years. For decades and decades, those books are lying in there. And even if people pick them, many of those books, what will be the great deal? What is the great deal in that? What will happen by that? But if we just hold Srimad Bhagavatam in our hands, what to speak about reading it, then that Srimad Bhagavatam has the potency to fulfill all our longings. So the first reason is because it was spoken with compassion. The second thing is because Bhagavatam contains in itself the pastimes of all great devotees of the Supreme Lord. And these devotees were not ordinary devotees. They were so fulfilled themselves in their lives that they did not require anything else out of that. We can just think about how fulfilled Ambarish Maharaj was. He was Durvas Muni wanted to kill him, and he sent that fiery demon to him. But Ambarish was so fulfilled, he did not want anything. He just folded his hands, and ultimately Durvas Muni only got into trouble, and later he only had to ask for forgiveness. And Ambarish remained as he was. Parikshit Maharaj, we see, the very hearer of Srimad Bhagavatam, how fulfilled he was. He got a notice in 7 days, you are going to die. He did not even retaliate back. What to speak of, saying anything to Shringi or to Samik Rishi. Nothing. He just left, went to the bank of Ganges and surrendered himself. Left everything at a moment's notice. How fulfilled he must have been to do that. If we are told, just wherever, whichever place we are, or whichever room or our house, we are just told, vacate this house in 7 days, although it is your house. How difficult it will be. But Parikshit Maharaj was so fulfilled. Prahlad Maharaj was so fulfilled. He was being embraced by Krishna every moment. And when no one was for him, everyone was against him, still he was happy in his life. Alone. A single devotee in an entire island of demons. And he was happy. And he made many devotees there. So totally happy. If you see the gopis, how very satisfied they were, and what kind of love. What kind of love. We were talking about the form of Krishna. Rukmini talks about the Dwarka form of Krishna, where she is telling that my distress is gone of my heart and mind. And we'd say about the gopis, they were not even able to tolerate a moment's separation from Krishna. And therefore they sing in the Gopi Geet, अटति यद्भवान् अहनिकाननं त्रुटियोगायते त्वामपश्यताम् कुटिलकुन्तलं श्रीमुखं च ते जडौ दीक्षतां पक्ष्मकृत्रिषाम्. They say when you go to the forest, a tiny fraction becomes a millennium or a more. Truti yugayate, it becomes as long as a yuga. So gopis have to endeavor to forget Krishna. Radharani is saying to Krishna, Chitta kadi toma haite vishaya chahi lagaite yatna kari nari kadi bare. So I am trying to forget you and engage myself in sense gratification. Not possible. For us it is so difficult to remove sense gratification from our life and put Krishna in there. For gopis it is quite natural. So where was I before that? I just forgot the link. I just went into here. Anyways, yeah, we're talking about how Bhagavatam can give us emotional fulfillment and fulfill the longing of our heart. So it is filled with the description of great devotees. And we're talking about the gopis. So gopis are totally fulfilled. They're completely fulfilled in their lives. And another reason why Bhagavatam can give us fulfillment is because it contains in it the charming pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which are so attractive. Generally people, they want to hear and read about a Spider-Man. They want to hear about so many material heroes of this world. But hearing about them won't give any long-lasting satisfaction. But when we hear about Krishna, it totally pacifies the heart. And such charming pastimes are there in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. That it totally enchants the heart of the reader. And ultimately, the fourth reason, Bhagavatam is non-different than Krishna. It is said that nectar of devotion is non-different from Srimati Radharani, and Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. So when we are in touch with Srimad Bhagavatam, nectar of devotion, we are in touch with Krishna. And Krishna is ultimately the source of all emotions. What is the question of not being emotionally fulfilled for him? So he can fulfill all the longings, all the desires, and all the inebrities. He can satisfy which are lacking, all the lacunae which are there in our heart. He can satisfy. So that is the potency of Srimad Bhagavatam. So when we are regularly in touch with Srimad Bhagavatam, then there can be no distress for that devotee. And therefore he says, Yatre dante katham rishtas trishnaya prathamo yata. He says that whenever topics of Srimad Bhagavatam are discussed, there is no envy amongst the members. Means what? We should discuss every time. Then there will be totally no envy. And Bhagavatam is meant for that. Nirmat saranam satam. It is meant for the non-envious. But by hearing, again, in that same verse 1.1.2, he describes how Bhagavatam, it leads to it leads to the settlement or what can I say, the establishment of Krishna within one's heart. Sadhyo hridhi avaruddhatet kritibi shushrusubit tach kshanat. Immediately Lord Krishna is manifested, and he is totally established within the core of one's heart. That is the beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam, and that is the beauty of Krishna. He is all attractive. So when somebody is all attractive, it is very natural that we get attracted to him. Therefore, Prabhupada would say that Krishna consciousness is not an artificial imposition on the living entity. It is the very nature of the soul. Not an artificial. Sense gratification is artificial. Therefore, it doesn't lead to satisfaction. And when we are getting attracted to the all attractive, it is not so easy. Because we have alternate attractions in our life. And because of those alternate attractions, there is a delay in establishment of Krishna in our heart. So Krishna may take one life, he may take two lives, he may take Bahu Janma Kare Yadi Shravana Kirtan Tabe to na paye Krishna Pade Premadana. He can take many lifetimes also. depending upon maybe 1 attachment, 2 attachment, 5 attachments, or 100 attachments. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would give that example of marriage party. One time there was a marriage party, and they wanted to go from one side of the river to another side, and they sat in the night, and they said to the boatman, we have to reach the marriage on time, please drive us, we are off to sleep now. The boatman said, yes, I will drive you very nicely. And he was rowing early morning. They got up early morning and they found that the boat was there only. And they started yelling at the boatman, you cheater, you did not take us to a destination. And the boatman said, no, you see me, I am sweating, total sweating. And they said, yes, sweat is coming. And then one of the members, he looked and he saw that they had not removed the anchor. The anchor was still there. So for that boat there was only one anchor. Our life has many anchors, many ropes. Some may be very thick, some may be very thin. And therefore it needs therefore those anchors, those attachments need to be cut by different swords. If you want to cut some attachments, they require different swords. One sword which we can have is what Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter, which is the sword of detachment. Asanga shastrena dhrudena chitva. He says, with determination, cut this ignorance. Directly, one shot, cut. So that is one sword which we should carry every time with us. The second sword which we should carry with us is the sword of remembrance of Krishna, which again is described in the first canto, second chapter, 15th verse. Yad anudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhana chindanti kovidastasya kona kuryat kathartim. He says that remembrance of Krishna acts like a sword which destroys all ignorance. So that sword we need to use to cut the attachments. And the third sword which we need to carry with us is the sword of knowledge, which Krishna mentions in the 4th chapter. Jnana sina. Jnana sina, he says. Asina means sword. Jnana is knowledge. So we use this sword of knowledge to cut off, to chop off ignorance. And that is required for us to get free from these alternate attachments. And as we were discussing, these alternate attachments can take one day, they can take 1 month, they can take one life, they can take many lives. And even a small thing, like nowadays it is the age of social media. So one profile picture can also distract us. Just seeing one particular site for one moment and it may distract us. One Instagram reel can distract us. That is what happened to Ajamila. He was distracted by live Instagram reel. He was seeing the Shudra and Shudrani, the man and the prostitute embracing and kissing each other. And he got distracted by that. And whole life he was with that prostitute. But then fortunately he got distracted by one reel, but he got saved by one Bhagavatam class, which was the conversation between Yamadutas and Vishnudutas. He got saved by that one Bhagavatam class. And then we had another personality named Yayati Maharaj. He made an entire Netflix series of his distraction. First he got attracted to Devayani and then got her off the well, and he could have left her there, but she said, no, I want to marry you. He said, okay, wow, that's very nice. Married. After that, so many things happened. And he was even, we'll not go into the detail in the entire story, but he even lost his youth and he became old. And he was so shameless that he went to his sons to beg their youth from them and said that I have not yet enjoyed with your mother totally. I want to enjoy. Now how disturbing that is. But no, he was intent on publishing all the episodes of that Netflix series. So after a long time he understood what was I doing. Evam varsha sahasrani manas shashtair manas sukham. It was all in the mind, it was nothing. And still I was not satisfied. Vidadanopi na tripyat sarva bhauma kadendri. Although I was the empire of the whole world, still I was not satisfied. So Yati Maharaj says that. Regarding Pururava, what happened is his alternate attraction took him to the first Netflix episode was over. He wanted to have another episode. He was not satisfied. He met Urvashi, got enchanted by her, and then she left him. There's a big story, again we'll not go into that story. But he was so mad after her that he went. And then Urvashi talks to Pururava about the nature of woman. There are 2-3 verses which come in that. And Pururava says, no, but I want you. And Urvashi says, okay, once in a year. And once in a year, he is whole 364 days he is longing for that one day, when that one day will come. After that one day, he is again lamenting why this day has gone. And he does yajna to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is sacrifice. Treta Yugas begin, and he does the sacrifice for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has the darshan of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he asks the Supreme Lord, can I go to the planet of Urvashi? Supreme Lord says, I am there, come to my planet. No, I want to go to Urvashi's planet. Lord says, okay, fine. He goes to Urvashi's planet. I want to have a second Netflix. And finally he realizes, what was I doing? I got totally enchanted. And he speaks the Aila Gita, which is spoken by Lord Krishna to Uddhava, which comes in the 11th canto, 26th chapter. So yes, Krishna is definitely all attractive, but we have alternate attractions also in our life. And in the conditioned stage, what happens is, those attractions appear to be more enchanting, they appear to be more promising, and Krishna appears to be less promising. Because till the time we don't have taste in Bhagavatam, till the time we don't have taste in the holy name, although it is mentioned, our Kulashekar says, idam shariram paranam peshanam padattavasyam satasandhi jarjaram kim aushadim prachase mooda durmate niramayam krishna rasayanam piba. He says, oh fool, your body is going to go away. What medicine are you asking for? Take this holy name. Kim aushadim, which medicine are you asking for? Take this Krishna medicine, this elixir which can give you life. All other things are going to take life away from you, but this is going to give you life. That is what he says. And then one of our devotees, he has written this very beautiful song. Madhuram madhurebhyopi mangalebhyopi mangalam pavanam pavanebhyopi harer namaiva kevalam. So he says, Madhuram madhurebhyopi. The holy name is sweeter than the sweetest. So if we continue on, see, if scriptures are telling the truth, this is also the truth, that the holy name will appear sweet. This is also a truth, that Krishna is all attractive. And this is also a truth, that sense gratification leads to misery. Yan maithunadi grihamedi sukhami tucham. After that, what is there? Sukhami tucham. Iva dukkha dukkha, he says, Tripyandina kripana bahudukha bhajam kandotivan manasijam vishahetatira. So many times the word dukkha comes in this world. He says it is always a source of distress. Kandu yanena karayor iva dukkha dukkham. That touch, we like to touch, but then that touch, it leads to misery, he is saying. But when we touch Krishna, when we touch devotees, Ambarish Maharaj wanted to do that. That Britya Gatra Sparsheng Sangam. He says perfection of touch is to embrace devotees. Perfection of eyesight is to see Krishna. Perfection of legs is to go to temple. That is the beauty of spiritual life. So when we get free from those alternate attractions and start getting attracted to Krishna, then the glories of Krishna can create such a festival in our heart that it will be Nityotsavam. Therefore, the gopis are saying, Yasyananam makara kundal charu karana, about the gopis. Bhrajat kapola subhagam sabilasa hasam tatrubir na darshabir nityotsavam na tatrubir darshabir pibanto naryo narasya mudita kupita nimeshcha. He said that seeing Krishna is an eternal festival. Therefore the gopis and Nari and Nara both, they are so much attracted to Krishna. The Vrajavasis are so attracted to Krishna. They say, why have you given these eyelids to us? They are blinking. In the verse of the Gopi Geet we sang, in that verse also he says that these eyelids are there, we are not able to see your curly locks of hair when you go to the forest. And this foolish creator Brahma, why he has created these eyelids? So that we are not able to see. Even Mahaprabhu says that. Koti netra nahi dila, dui dila moi, tahate nimisha Krishna, ki dekhi bo moi. He says, you gave me only 2 eyes, did not give me millions of eyes, and even of the 2 eyes you have given me these eyelids. How can I see Krishna? I am not able to see Krishna. So that is the level to which a jiva rises. Obviously, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking, but jiva can rise himself or herself to that level, wherein he will always feel so much attracted to Krishna that the attractions of this world will appear very pale, and the attractions of this world will feel to be totally useless in front of Krishna, because Krishna is that attractive. And that is the goal of our life, to get attracted by Krishna. And Krishna is there, Kishore is there, they are standing, just waiting that when will this person get attracted to me. And when we desire strongly enough, Prabhupada was once asked, which is that one thing which is required in spiritual life? Prabhupada said, desire. So when we desire strongly enough, then definitely we can also get attracted to Krishna, and we will also want millions of years, like Prithu Maharaj says, Karna Yutam. He says, I want millions of years to hear about Krishna. So we'll pause here. Thank you very much. Are there any comments or reflections?
Hare Krishna. As you said in the class that Bhagavatam is so attractive, and also people, I just wanted to hear from your comment, like if Bhagavatam is so attractive and we see varieties of sense gratification we have outside, and they know that sense gratification, some they know, some they don't know. Sense gratification doesn't lead to satisfaction. Why they are not turning to the Bhagavatam? Because if it is so attractive.
Yeah, Bhagavatam is attractive, but Maya is also illusory, right? So 7.14 says, Mama Maya Durattaya. And Ramanujacharya in his commentary to 7.14, he says that Maya creates some kind of mystical charm. It is bewitching, it is bewildering. It creates such a charm that a person feels, wow, this is what it is. I know there is no total satisfaction, but maybe I can try it. Now I tried this way, now I'll try it this way, now I'll try it the other way. And Maya makes us feel that I am the only exception. I will be an exception to enjoying Maya. And that is how it keeps on putting layers over layers. And already Brahmaji has put 5 layers of ignorance. The first layer is called as avidya, which is ignorance. Second is asmita. Asmita means the memories of this particular body. Like if I have a male form or a female form, those particular impressions are there. Then raga or attachment is there. And then dvesha or aversion is there. And because of that, the 5th thing called as abhinivesha, total absorption is there in that. Like for example, a kid is playing a video game or something like that, maybe some Need for Speed or Counter Strike, something like that. And he'll be so absorbed in playing that game, even if mother calls him for breakfast, he'll not say anything because he's totally absorbed in playing that. That is what Maya does. It creates such an illusion that one feels, wow. Like Prabhupada writes in one purport, when one is absorbed in the influence of lust and sex, one feels very happy to stay in this material world. One feels that I want to stay here only. There is no need to go anywhere else. This is one thing. Second thing, Bhagavatam, if you go 5th canto, 14th chapter, Forest of Material Enjoyment, 10th verse. This particular verse says that although a living entity understands the miseries of sense gratification, still he cannot give away from that. He will give for some period of time, but again he will take up that, because he will feel that no, something is there in that. Something is there which I am not able to get. And even if you find Nectar of Devotion, when it talks about characteristics of material pleasure, one of the characteristics is Chapal Sukha, and the second is Bhoga Tyaga. Bhoga Tyaga means you enjoy and you do Tyaga. No, I don't want. Again Bhoga, again Tyaga. That is what is the nature of that. So therefore Bhagavatam mentions that you need to get free from this enjoyment tendency. 3:27-24 he says, Bhukta bhoga parityakta drishta dosha cha nityashah na ishwarasya subham datte swamahimni sitasya cha. When you give up the desire for enjoyment, bhukta bhoga parityakta drishta dosha cha nityashah, by understanding the fault of lording over the material nature, then you become situated, the soul becomes situated in one's true glory. That is what this particular verse says. Then again, Devahuti is saying to Kapil Dev 3:25-7. She says, Nirvinnam nitaram bhuman asat indriya tarshanat. She says, because of this engagement with senses, I have fallen into an ocean of ignorance, but now I have to leave all of that. And Prabhupada writes in the purport that unless one becomes totally frustrated with material enjoyment, one cannot take to spiritual life seriously. So, if somebody is not taking to Srimad Bhagavatam, we discussed all these reasons. Maya is very illusory, very strong, very powerful, energy of Krishna. Right? Then second is the nature of material enjoyment is also like that, Bhoga Tyaga. So a living entity wants to do that. Then we discussed that unless one gives up totally that desire for material enjoyment, one cannot, it cannot happen. And the fourth thing was that one should get totally frustrated with this material enjoyment. And the fifth thing, if one is not getting frustrated with material enjoyment, that means he or she needs more kicks from Maya. When Maya will give more kicks, then that person will understand, oh, I tried, but I received dukkha. Yehi samsparsha bhoga dukkha yone vayate. Krishna is telling, you touch and you get dukkha. So he feels, no, it is not so much dukkha. Let me touch once more. Let me touch once more. He tries to touch. But then when dukkha will come, then, so that experience also is needed sometimes. That is what Daksha is saying. Daksha is saying to Narad Muni. Nanu bhuyana janati puman vishay tikshnatam. Unless one understands the misery of sense gratification by indulging in it, how can one give that up? Because Narad Muni made the sons of Daksha renounced without having them experience. But then Prabhupada says this is not the truth. If mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there, if mercy of Mahaprabhu is there, even without experience they can get detached. So we need the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there may be some varieties which we may not also have got detached from. But if we get mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, we need not experience those enjoyments. We will directly surpass them and transcend them. Because this experiencing thing causes a lot of time. It leads to a lot of time delay also in attaining our journey. These are some thoughts.
Thank you for your class, Prabhuji. I just wanted to share a thought with you. For brahmacharis that, are trying to stay away from Maya, I think of, how Prabhupada taught us that the most intelligent one is the one who hears and follows. And less intelligent is one who has to try it out and I just recommend that you try to be the first the intelligent and don't try it. Just trust the scriptures, and that's the most intelligent.
Your blessings, if your blessings are there, I can do that. So yeah, it is said, experience is the best teacher, but a fool learns by no other way. And for renunciates, it is like they have to learn from others' experiences. Hearing, as you said. They hear others' experiences and learn. Prabhu also has something to share.
Thanks for your spontaneity, Prabhu. It's kind of overwhelming.
Please forgive me.
Fast. Sometimes I like to read a book because you can go at your own pace, but you're bombarding us with good instructions. I was remembering what Prabhupada said. It is not that Maya is so strong, it's that our purpose is weak. So when we understand our purpose, we can act accordingly. There's no, what does it say? a word to the wise is sufficient, but there's no end to the words needed to convince a fool. And I also, Krishna will not put some illusion before us that we can't overcome. Have you heard that before?
Krishna never gives a solution, a situation.
He won't put something before us that we can't overcome. You know?
Yes.
The test is there.
Yeah.
And I remember Allen Ginsberg, he was a famous poet, and we see him at the airport, you know, and he said, when he's with Prabhupada, he says, Prabhupada, when I'm with you, everything's okay, but when I go outside the door, I'm just overwhelmed. And then we saw him at the airport, and we offered him a Gita, but he says, oh, I know that. I'm into polytheism now. So, and then he passed away like 1997. See, he was born in 1926, so he's quite a bit older than us, but he met Prabhupada when he was 40 in 66. I don't know if you're familiar with him, Allen Ginsberg.
Yes, I've heard about him. Yeah.
And it says, he says, you Westerners don't have a healthy fear of Maya. Have you heard that before?
Yes.
But those are a few things that came to mind. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Purana ki jai, Samveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.